Cheli, how do you feel about revenge stories?
Dude.
Dude.
The thing is, I never thought I was one to like revenge. Because sometimes I get very like, okay, you didn't have to go through all that trouble to just like get back at one person.
Yeah, because it's embarrassing.
But then sometimes
I'm like, he deserves it.
fuck his life up. So yes, I'm very Gone Girl. Was that what it was?
Oh, that's a good
dude.
one. What other revenge stories can you think of? Go, quick.
Gone Girl in Spanish, Gone Girl in German.
Mujer se fue. I don't know.
Mujer ya no está aquí.
Ya no está aquí. No busques.
No hay mujeres aquí.
Oh my god. To people who don't know Spanish.
Sorry.
I'm sorry. I also really like revenge stories. I feel like we've read one recently, but I can't remember.
I just feel like
Oh, I remember.
Which
the
one?
Mindfuck series. It's a revenge story.
would you consider? Oh yeah, oh definitely.
Hello?
I'm like, oh,
You're like, wait, hold on. No, it wasn't.
wait a minute.
Like, if you think about it, like, really deeply, it's really not. It's a bigger picture.
Yeah, come on. It isn't revenge. What's the other word? Retribution. That's even worse.
Oh my god. Okay, so let me give you a scenario, okay? Girl dating boy. Boy lawyer. Big shot. Love that for him.
Hi, my name's Kevin. I'm a boy lawyer. It's like, oh, king. Okay.
She's dating a lawyer. She's thinking, oh my god, this year I'm gonna get in. I'm gonna get into the rainbow room. But boy doesn't like her Halloween costume. That's fucked up.
And also, boy doesn't like anything about her. Not just Halloween costume.
Okay, yes, that's true. I mean, I was gonna get there next, but
Okay.
that's true. So she decides, you know what? I'm gonna get revenge on this guy because I had a lot of access to him. You know, she was basically like an assistant to him, so she could bug up his life.
Yes.
And then she's scrolling through a dating app and happens to match with this boy's boss. And she's like, I'm getting into that rainbow room one way
Suddenly,
or
I'm
another.
into managers for boy lawyers. Suddenly, this seems so good.
Yeah? Do you
Yeah.
think it could fix your life, maybe?
Yes, I do
Really?
think it can.
Okay. Welcome to the Book Fix Podcast, a podcast where we fix lives one book at a time. I'm your host, Yajaira.
And I'm your host, Cheli, and happy holidays.
Happy holidays.
First of all.
This is the perfect Christmas story.
We are talking about 'Tis the Season for Revenge by Morgan Elizabeth.
Yes.
Dude, I just want to say, I did not think that I would ever read a story like this. I don't know, because I know that we've read Christmas type stories, but it feels weird that we're consuming a lot of specifically on Christmas stories. You know what I mean? Is that weird
Yeah,
to say?
no. Well, I feel like we should do that though during
Yeah.
this December time,
But I
because
do-
we celebrate Christmas.
Yes. But I do think it's like I've always strayed away from holiday specific writings. Like I'm not going to
Me
be over here like,
too.
let me read a Thanksgiving one. It's like, no, I'm not thankful for anything.
Yeah, I actually don't celebrate that. That's weird.
So like I've always been one to like when I see it, I'm like, yeah, I'm never going to pick that up.
Yeah,
I
but there's
think-
a lot of Christmas books now.
And there's a lot of good ones
Yeah.
too. I feel, I don't know. I guess it's just, you know, if I get a Christmas book and I read it in January because it was just on my TBR, I'm
Yeah.
like, no, I don't want to do that.
Yeah, it's not the season anymore. It passed already.
It feels very, yeah. And also just the fact that a book is seasonal, I feel like, isn't that like not that great for the author? Like it only booms in Christmas and then like never again.
No, what I feel like some people really like I know some people listen to Christmas music like in the middle of spring. You know, it's like
Yeah,
sometimes
me.
you. I didn't want to say it, but yes, you. Sometimes you just want a little bit of Christmas on a random Tuesday.
Okay.
Christmas in
okay.
July, that's a thing.
Oh yeah, you're right. So like you said, we're reading a revenge story. And I want your thoughts on something first before we even introduce the characters.
Okay.
How do you feel about people in relationships? And I'm not going to say man or woman because it can literally be anyone. So just partner.
Okay. Partner
That-
A, partner B.
Partner A who is willing to change everything in their life for their partner.
You
How
know,
do you feel about that?
you know what's interesting about that? I was literally thinking about you and thinking like, if this were me, I feel like you would be like, red flag. Wait, why are you suddenly blonde now?
But how long would it take for either of us? If it was you seeing me go through this and me seeing you go through this,
I think
what would be the point where you'd be like, hey, Cheli?
I think it would be pretty quick. But the thing is that our main character, Abby, she's a very like Barbie girl. Like she gives Elle Woods and from Legally Blonde, if you've never seen it.
Yeah.
And, you know, she's like pink, blonde hair, heels. Like she's a very girly girl. And I don't feel like you or I are really like on one end. Like we're not super girly and we're not like super like masculine.
But in our scenario, what if we became that? Like you started wearing like heels that you normally wouldn't wear and just all pink. And then if I ask you like, why are you wearing pink? It's like, oh, it's because my boy loves this.
I see what you mean. I feel like it would be pretty, maybe not after the first thing, maybe after like the second or third thing, I'd be like, don't you think it's a little weird that your hair is suddenly green because he needs to remind him of the forest? Like, that's kind of weird.
Yeah, and I take your opinion. Your opinions to me are very weighted.
Yeah, no, same.
So I'm always just like, damn.
I know.
And yeah, Jaira pointed it out. Literally,
like...
my dad would be like, don't do it, mija. And I'm like, I can do what I want, Dad.
Dad, leave me alone.
And you would be like, maybe not. You're like, yeah, you're right. I hate it.
I wasn't going to do
Fuck
it.
him. I'm like married to him, divorcing.
It's so funny because that's how I felt with my boyfriend. I was like, honestly, the person I care the most is Cheli. Like, my parents don't care. But I was like nervous for you guys to meet. I was like, damn, she doesn't like him.
But even then, like, anytime that we've had a serious talk, both of you and I are very like, no, and I understand how you feel about it. You know what I mean? We're very like
very Pisces.
Very Pisces, very not trying to fight.
Yeah. Please, I don't want to fight today.
I'm already crying.
I'm at PTSD. Please, I don't want to fight anymore. We're not even fighting. It's like
But I very much appreciate that because I think that if I fell into a toxic relationship and I got too deep in, but I had people that knew about it, then I would feel really shitty getting out of it. And they're just kind of like, yeah, I totally knew.
I told you.
And it's like, no, you didn't. Like,
yeah, her friends never said anything to her, right?
Yeah, so our main character, whose name is...
Abby?
Mm-hmm. Oh, first of all, hated that her name was Abby. I know so many Abbies, so I was like, Abby would never.
Wait, which Abby? Hold on.
I know. Let me go through Abby A, Abby B. So Abby is so... Go ahead.
I just want to point out that there's a moment in the beginning where she's getting ready because she's going to go to this Halloween party with her then boyfriend, Richard. And she's on FaceTime with her friends and she's like showing her friends her outfit. And then Richard texts her and he's like, I'm here. And she's like, oh, Richard's here. I'm going to go downstairs and meet him. And they're like, that's weird. Why doesn't he like go grab you? You know, why doesn't he go upstairs and grab you? Because there's so much that can happen between you going down there. And then her friends were kind of, I don't know, like the way that her friends reacted, it kind of made me feel like, do they not know how he treats her? Because they've been together for years at this point.
But even like the little things that they would point out, because Abby also is naturally blonde, but dyed her hair to be a brunette because it just seems like Richard likes those types of girls. And there's one scene where her friend Cammie looks at her, and the way it's described is she's glaring at her, and she's like, I miss the blonde. And it was like, what the fuck is that? Like the fact that her two friends are talking about how much they hate her boyfriend, but never specifically tell her, hey, your boyfriend's a shitty guy.
Yeah, and I feel like I would definitely tell you. Yeah. Like, your boyfriend doesn't like how you are as a person.
And it's hard to hear, but like, I feel like it's worse that she spent 4 years of her life trying to mold herself to be someone that this Richard guy wants, and her friends did nothing to stop it. And then when it does come to them breaking up, which is right at the very beginning, when she gets into the car with Richard and Richard's like, look at you, you're so like,
you're so childish. Childish. A baby with the fucking bunny ears. Like, are you fucking kidding me?
You're a fucking pacifier.
He's like, I always have one with me.
I'm not a baby, you are.
It's weird. Like, well, because he didn't dress up, which honestly is so boring. He didn't dress up to his own Halloween. Well, not his party, but his work's Halloween party.
Yeah.
And he was just like making her feel so bad for dressing up.
And then just completely use this moment to be like, by the way, this is why I never invited you to shit, because you're so unprofessional. Like, how do you expect me, a huge lawyer, to be with someone like you who works for makeup? By the way, the fact that you work at a mall, is that even a fucking real job? And just like calling her out on all her shit. And she's just over here like, what are you doing? Like, what's happening? And then the police come because they're in the middle of the road, and he's like, is there a problem? And Richard just goes like, no, she's leaving.
Oh my God. He literally just like doesn't even let her speak.
Dude, what would you have done? Because the friend was upstairs, wasn't she? Oh no, they were on FaceTime.
They were on FaceTime. I feel like I would have been like, actually, officer, I'm gonna need you to look away.
Well, I've had moments where, and I'm pretty sure you've had moments where we have both been in shitty situations and we call each other, and I'll literally be like, I would have asked for the day off. Like, I would have came for you.
No, same.
Oh, gosh, that gets me so riled up that her friends did absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
All they did was let her get drunk, ice cream, and it's like, here, make a dating site.
Oh, they brought Five Guys too.
Yeah.
And yeah, because
not Five Guys. Five Guys burgers and burgers.
No, yeah, Five Guys. Showed up with 5 different men, all very ripped.
Love that.
No, the burgers. Anyway, so I think it was Cammie who was like, the best way to get over a man is to get under one. So that's why she makes a dating site. And they're already like kind of plotting in the beginning, I think, where they're like, okay, what should we do? We should do something, right? And then she realizes that she has control over like his like haircuts, over like vitamins that he takes, or hair supplements that will stop it from receding, pretty much.
Dude.
Oh, and then I love the one where she also has access to like his tailor. She just like makes it like just 1/4 of an inch, just too skinny, you know, like just like too tight for him.
Oh God.
Or no, too short too, I think, right? Something like that. It was so funny.
How did you feel when she revealed, because they were like, yeah, you're like his personal assistant, and then they were reading emails that she would send out for him, work related, and she would write, Abby, personal assistant.
That was so sad. Wait, because what I don't understand is she thought they were together, right?
Yeah.
But to him, he was kind of just like,
But they were together.
You knew that it was kind of just like a fling, right?
No, but they were together. And he tried making it work. But when he went, because this is a dual perspective, so we actually do see the perspective of
the boss.
The boss who she swiped right on. So before they match, we get the perspective of Damien, who is the boss and currently at this party.
The Halloween party. Where
everyone dressed up. So the fact that fucking Richard shows up and he's not wearing shit, and he's like, well, I thought we were all lawyers and adults. Why would I dress up?
Which is a little confusing, because wouldn't he have known from the last party?
Yeah, but he's an idiot. There are people like that, sadly.
It's true.
But the fact that, I don't even know where I was going with this.
Damien sees him at the party and he doesn't like him like right away. Well, you can tell that he's never liked him.
Oh, and he brings up like, oh, Damien, are you on a dating website? Yeah, I got a few girls we can call.
Oh,
remember?
yeah.
And then Damien's was like, I'm not into prostitution.
Yeah.
And that's illegal, and you're a lawyer, and you shouldn't be doing that shit. And he was like, no, it's whatever. And I mean,
no, they're cool. They're chill.
Oh, and then fucking Damien was like, but didn't you have a girlfriend? He's like, oh no, it was just some girl I used to fuck.
Yeah.
It's like, oh my God, 4 years.
He gives no fucks. And Abby wasted 4 years of her life. And also, she works as a hairstylist, right? And he would always make fun of her for it. Wouldn't he like bring up like, oh, didn't you want to do like something else? Like something more serious?
Oh,
which is so like fucked up.
And she would talk about like how big this was to her, because she was like, it's not just makeup and hair. It's like changing someone's life, like the trajectory of their life. And he would always shut it down. It's like, you work at a mall.
Yeah, and then he'd be like, I change lives. Oh my God. You don't, Abby.
Shut the fuck up, Richard.
That dick.
I can't. Oh my God.
Yeah, I fucking hated him. So when they were like, let's get revenge on him, I was on board. I was like, hell yeah.
Oh God, dude.
But how did you feel about Damien?
I wasn't sure at the beginning. So when we're first introduced to him, he says, that his life is so lonely. It's basically him in the big city. His family lives elsewhere. And he usually spends events or holidays by himself. And he hates it. And he tries dating sites because it's the only thing that is not as monotonous, I guess, as everything else in his life. Like, everything's so the same.
And he's also such a huge workaholic. Like, he's always working. And it almost feels like he's always, like, on call, too.
Yeah. So he talks about how he does dating sites because he wants to meet someone. But then, like, usually the people he finds are not people he sees himself being with. When they first go on a date, I think they explicitly, like, it's a good date. I don't even remember what they did. They went out to eat.
They got dinner. And then during the dinner, I think she asks him, like, oh, like, what are you looking for? Or he asks her. Somebody asks. And he brings up, like, oh, you know, I'm really busy, so I really just want something more casual.
Yes.
Like, not anything that's gonna lead to the altar. But then because she was already, like, feeling bad. She was like, oh, I shouldn't involve this guy in my revenge. Like, that's messed up. But then when he says that he's just looking for something casual, she feels better about it. She's like, oh, okay, well then, all right, it's fine.
Yeah, and they go on this date where she totally pretends to be someone she's not. So she orders a whiskey.
Oh, yeah, because she's trying to be like one of the boys.
And she fucking hates whiskey. And then she tries to be super, like, well, kind of like ditzy, you know? Like a girl who has very low inhibitions. And then she even says, like, well, you're not going to sleep with me if I'm not drunk. And he was like...
He's like, what the fuck?
That's a weird That's like, no.
Yeah.
And so then they go back to his home. Like, they share a kiss in the street, and she's like, damn, yes. And so they go back to his home, and they're about to have sex, and then he repeats, like, I am not looking for anything serious, unless I find the one, but I just want you to know. Like, this is basically what we're doing. And I would like for you to agree to be, like, friends with benefits with me, because... like, this is fun. Like, I do want this to go on for a while.
And he did like her.
Yeah. So then they have sex. How'd you feel about the spice?
I really liked the spice.
Yeah, I did too.
I thought it was so fucking good.
Oh, God. But she's so, like... insecure.
Yes.
Oh, God.
She's a very...
so bad.
She's a very insecure girl, which I feel really bad for her because you can tell that Richard really fucked her up because there'll be... like conversations that she's having with Damien and she's thinking of it like one way, like for example, like when she mentions her job, she immediately is like, oh, it's like nothing, you know, it's like no big deal, it's just like a small thing, a hairstylist. And he's like don't do that. He's like don't belittle, don't belittle your job.
And then when she undresses, she puts her hand like on her stomach to kind of hide the curves, and he's like, no. Yeah.
But it happens a lot, like even not like super close to the end, but pretty close to the end. I was like, wow, like she's still. I understand though because it's hard. When you're so insecure about something, it's hard for you to stop right away, right? So there's moments where still near the end, she was kind of like unsure of how Damien was feeling, I guess.
Yeah. So I really appreciate I want to point something out. I thought this story was going to be just like pure her and Damien, and then we see Richard. I really like that throughout the story, it trickles in like, you know what? I just remembered why I fucking hate Richard. That one time that bit, you know, it would always bring things up.
Yeah.
One thing it brought up at one point was like, God, I can't believe I allowed Richard to to force me to listen to his men podcast to be like, you'll get me if you listen to this.
Dude, do you know any girls like that?
Yes.
So do I. Oh. And it's so cringy. Like to be like, oh yeah, I love this podcast because my boyfriend loves this podcast. It's like, that's weird.
It's so weird. And I understand because the thing is, I don't think you should change for someone. But I do think that sometimes in a good relationship, you can grow from where you're at.
Yeah. But I feel like there's certain things that are like, okay, like for example, like certain music, like maybe he or she will get you into certain types of music. Like, okay, that's cool. That's fine. But like when it's like ideology and like politics that don't really align with yours, it's like, what the fuck?
Yeah, you know, women's pay is not that different. It's like just like all that shit. Oh,
He's
God.
like, actually, women shouldn't vote. Like,
no, like
bring that
evolution
back?
Technically said.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, wait.
Have you seen that girl podcast that's like, No, yeah. Like, I walk into a business and it's like, I think about what I buy. It's like, no, I think about buying the business. You have to think bigger.
I have seen clips like that. It's like, they talked about having children too.
Yeah, it's like, why would I spend time with my baby? The more time I spend with my baby, the less time I'm here investing, making money.
Yeah, I love those clips. They're so funny.
Dude, but that's like the fucking type of ideology that Richard had.
Yeah.
And it's funny because she expected, and she would say it to Damien too. When Damien would work, she'd be like, oh, you go do your important lawyer job. I understand that you take work home and like you work on weekends. And he's like, no, I don't. Like, I'm off when I'm off. I'm not going to bring work home.
I felt so bad for her.
I know.
And then also I love that he was like, yeah, no, I'm not working during this time.
Fucking, and Richard at work tried to call him out on that shit and was like, what, you're not going to take work home?
I see.
Lame ass shit. And
he's like some of us work harder.
And oh my God. And the fact that Richard, during the relationship with Abby, was cheating on her with a person at work. And then Damien was like, oh, no, yeah, I finished all my work while you were fucking the secretary. So, you know.
He's just like the trashiest man ever. I fucking love that he's named Richard too. Like, of course he would be.
Oh my gosh.
Because I love when Damien would refer to him as Dick.
So I want to say, when I was reading this book, at the very beginning, I didn't think the revenge was giving enough because I felt like it would have been more impactful to me if she also didn't like Damien that much at the beginning because she associated it with Richard. I would have liked, like, no, all you lawyers are the same. Yeah. You do this, this, and that. And then I wish she would have seen, like, growth and, like, no, he's actually better because he values his work. He values my work. He values all this.
And I agree with you. And then also the revenge was told a lot through, like, Damien being like, oh my God, it's so funny. Richard's ex like made copies of his house key and just scattered them all across the city, and now he's like, oh no, what did they do? Like they put their phone number, right? Yes. And then so he kept getting calls and like a bunch of phone calls.
Found your house key.
Yeah. It's just like, it's funny, but I kind of wish that we would have seen a little bit more of that revenge. Like, like I wanted to see more of him suffering.
But even that to me it didn't feel revenge enough. That just felt petty. And that felt like her friends came up with that shit. I wish
what would you want? I want to hear what revenge.
Well, I wish that she would have
murdered his entire family.
I wanted him gone, scattered around New York City. Not really, allegedly. So,
in Minecraft.
Like how we. That's so funny that people say that. I think I would have liked it if Richard and her continued to talk. And she would have been slowly changing back to herself because of Damien. So back to blonde, back to wearing pink. And Richard being like, whoa, you just seem different all of a sudden.
You kind of slay that look, actually.
I know, queen. And then, like, I wish there would have been like a little bit of that. So she'd be like, I know she didn't want him back, but the fact that she wanted all this attention from him at that party, I just kind of wanted her to continue to have that relationship. So then it was more impactful. And when it was like, oh yeah, I was talking to you, you were seeing me change, it was because of him. Yeah. You know, like I wish there was more
growth
and more hit to that revenge, like to that final thing, meeting. Because her whole thing is she wants to date Damien long enough so she goes to the Rainbow Room Christmas party so that she can be under Damien's arm while fucking Richard is there looking all in the gross room as shit. So,
balding and shit.
I know, but it would have hit more.
Okay, but what revenge?
Just that.
I want a scenario.
Just that. I
want a scenario.
What do you mean?
Like, what should she have done?
Just that. I hate that there was little things. Like, it feels like it was just tires. Petty. No crimes. They're lawyers. His tires. They're lawyers.
Oh, you're right. That's kind of scary, huh?
Yeah. I just wanted it to hit more. I wish she had written a note. I don't know. Like something that would have been
strongly worded letter.
You bitch. If you weren't a lawyer,
I would have slashed your tires.
If it weren't for the laws of the land, you wouldn't be here. Oh my God. I don't know.
I kind of agree with you though. I kind of wanted like a more subtle growth.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like that's always my issue with romance books, where I feel like the romance happened so quickly. Like she immediately liked him, which I get. I mean, he's supposed to be like handsome and whatever. But I kind of wish that it would have been more like subtle, and like Cheli said, where she slowly changing back into like who she is, because Damien likes it. Like he likes that about her.
Mm-hmm.
Like imagine him being like, "Wow, I love the blonde on you. That's cute. Better than the brunette, you know?"
Yeah.
That would have been cute.
One thing I didn't mention that I love about Damien is he's a Latino king.
Oh yes.
I think
Damien
this is the first
Martinez
story that we read that is not meant to be specifically Latino. Mm-hmm. That has a Latino
book boyfriend. Yeah, I love that.
His name is Damien Martinez. King. Oh my gosh.
And he sounded very cute. He's older though. I'm also surprised
14 years older.
Yeah, I'm surprised at how much older he is.
How do you feel about that age gap?
I feel like it's fine because she's like, what, 25?
Yeah. You would be okay if I dated someone 14 years older than me?
No. But I'm biased.
That's us.
That's us. In a book, it's...
But even then, I feel like... What if I told you that? What if I told you I fucking hate my boss? So I found your husband. You know, like in Minecraft. I didn't actually find him.
I support your rights and your wrongs.
Oh, thank you.
I don't know. How would you have felt if my boyfriend was like 14 years older than me?
I would call it out. I would tell you. I would tell you immediately. I feel like you would want me to tell you.
Yeah, I think so too, because it's us. Mm-hmm. But in a book, I'm like, it's okay. I think it's because she's older, and that's why I'm like okay with it. Yeah. And then also, I like that they talked about serious topics, like they don't want kids, right?
Yeah, they don't.
Yeah,
and both of them are okay with that. Mm-hmm. How do you feel about when she was at home, and he called her? And she was like, "Why the fuck are you calling me? Was this an accident?" Like, you know, she was like, and he was like, "No, it's just I had a hard day, so I just wanted you to give me some sunshine."
That was so fucking cute. Damian, he really pulled through.
Okay.
But now I have a question for you. How did you feel when he called her naranja?
Did you know?
Yeah. I knew right away. I was like, that is so fucking cute. And I love that she was like, orange. I'm not very much of a fall girl. I'm not a fall girly. I'm more spring.
But he never said why. And it's funny because growing up, knowing that, I was about to fucking lie and be like, seeing my parents call each other that. That's not where I saw it.
That would have been funnier if I said that. Because my parents would never.
Who are you calling a fucking naranja? Have you heard that one joke? It's like the best way to insult someone is saying like verdura in Spanish. It's like, you fucking tomate. Just fucking going for it.
Wait, that's actually a really good idea. I don't know why that feels so insulting.
Yeah, it does. Pepino looking ass. So like,
not the pepino.
So do you want to explain naranja, like the term of endearment?
So in Spanish, we like to say like mi media naranja, which is like my other half of an orange. Yep. Which basically signifies like soulmates, because you know, like it's like the two perfect sides of an orange, which is hard to find.
Yeah, there's no one orange that is exactly the same. Yeah. So the fact that they are two of the same, it means a lot because it's so rare to find. Mm-hmm.
So that was really fucking cute. But he said it pretty early on, though, didn't he?
Yeah, he did.
He just knew.
He did know. And she knew, too, because, like, I think chapter 20, these chapters are pretty short. By chapter 20, she says to herself, I fucked up because this is good and this is more and this has potential. Mm-hmm. And I ruined that potential by starting it off on a bed of deceit and revenge.
Mm-hmm. And like I felt so bad for her because there was so many moments where she wanted to tell him, you know, what started this relationship really. Yeah. But anytime that she wanted to, he would be like, shh, 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 shh. No. No. Look at me. No.
It's because he was also worried of her saying like, oh, I want this to be more. Because he's like, it's like he didn't want to worry about that until
after the holidays.
because it's the busiest time to be a lawyer.
I also felt like he just didn't. No, because there were moments where she would say like, "Oh, I just want to be honest about something," and he would be like, "It's okay. Let's be honest in January.
Yeah,
and let's be honest in February, maybe."
You know what's something I
Valentine's Day.
appreciate? The fact that both of them. Okay, I'm gonna go through it little by little. So after their first date, the fact that she thought she had to go home immediately.
Oh,
But
yeah.
He was like, you could spend the night. Like, I want to wake up and see you the next day. She was like, yeah, but I work at 10 and I have to take the subway to go back home. And he was like, no, we're going to wake up early. And he had even said he wasn't a morning person. So he's like, no, we're going to wake up early. We're going to go get some breakfast and I will drive you to work.
Yeah. That was so fucking cute. He's so nice.
He's so considerate, too. Oh, my God. The fact that she was in such a bad relationship for so long surprises me too. You know, I just thought that,
like, I'm almost curious how she didn't see any of the signs, especially if Richard was cheating on her the entire time. Like, I feel like she would have known.
Yeah, but she was also so like deeply into him and deeply into the idea of getting married.
Yeah.
So I kind of understand it in that sense. But okay, here's another thing that grosses me out.
What?
The fact that Damien is going so well. And you know, that first day went well. They're calling each other on the phone. They're having phone sex. And what is he, like 80? Crazy. No, but they're having like very intimate moments that seem like they're getting a second opportunity to be young again, which I appreciate because it's like she lost 4 years of her life. So she's gaining it back with someone who's older but willing to allow her to feel like that.
Yeah.
And that means a lot to me. So the fact that it's going so well, but her fucking friend Cammie's like, no, all men are trash.
Oh my God, I knew you were going to bring up Cammie. Cammie, the next book is her book, by the way. I don't know if you know that. But
skip it.
Cammie basically went through a really harsh breakup herself. And so right now she is in her all men suck era, you know, like all men
we've
trash.
All had it.
Yeah, we've all been there. Some of us are still there, but I may have a boyfriend, but I'm still there.
But he's
the only good one.
He's tiptoeing.
No.
That's funny.
No. But yeah, so Cammie, I just hate that she just kind of like ruins the good vibes.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, she does. I fucking hate that she doesn't even consider the fact like, okay, well, my friend is happy.
And she looks happy and she's herself, you know, she's not like faking it. She's
so stuck on this end goal to ruin one guy's life. And I think this is where...
Oh, yeah, because also it's important to say that Cammie will always try to bring it back to the whole revenge plan. Like, she's like, whoa. Don't stray. Don't forget the end goal.
I don't think... Controversial opinion. I don't think revenge stories are good if the possibility of straying is brought up every single moment. Because when we read Mindfuck, the Mindfuck series by S.T. Abby, right?
Yes, Stabby.
When we read that series, I liked the revenge a lot more because there was never a moment where she was like, you know what? I'm all out. You know, there were moments where she was like, I'm just too far in.
Yeah, I got finished,
I understand,
girl.
like, I understand it would have probably been better, but I'm not going to change for one guy. I love him, but I'm not going to change. But to her, it's like immediately, no, I shouldn't be doing this. No, you know what? I'm going to do it. No, I shouldn't be doing this. Like,
I feel like it... I don't know. Like, I feel like it's kind of embarrassing, though, right? Because, like, the whole point of this was to show up at the Rainbow Room so that Richard can look at her and be like, oh my God, she moved on. And I feel like that whole premise is embarrassing. Like, I would be embarrassed if I was in Abby's position.
And if you called me one day and were like, Cheli, this is my plan, I would have been like, really think about it. If this man didn't give you the time of day, what makes you think he's going to regret it when he sees you then?
Yeah.
Like, you have not thought this far ahead. What are his bosses going to think? What are you going to make yourself look like when you get there? Like, there was no thought behind it.
Also, what happens after?
Yeah, and the fact that she kept going like, well, I'm not doing it to get him back. It kind of felt like she was, right?
Yeah, but she is, though. Like, she is. And I think that she was just trying to prove a point that that she was good enough to get in there, maybe. But, I don't know. I feel like the revenge should have been a little bit better. I did like it, though, but I don't know.
I did, too. But I agree with you. So Damien and her, a little push in their relationship. It was close to, first one. He one day told her, like, I'm having such a long day, babe. Naranja. And I just think it would be really nice if when I get home, you're there. So if you could please just go to my house. I'm going to be home a little late.
Make yourself at home.
Yeah. And she was like so down. Like, he wasn't forcing her to do it. She wanted to do it. But the thing is, she's never been wanted before. So she was like, does he expect me to do anything? So she does his laundry, vacuums, makes
She's
him
over
dinner.
here doing housewife activities.
Yeah.
She cooked him a really nice dinner. Like, that is so nice of her. And I think even he was shocked. Like, appreciative, but shocked.
He wasn't imagining for her to do anything. And he even looked around. He's like, did you clean up?
There's no dust. And I love it to be dusty here.
It's funny. It's like, babe, comes with the lint roller. Babe, don't touch anything.
It's like, please.
Oh my gosh.
I cleaned, okay?
But the fact that he was like, I called you over here not with the intention of you to clean for me, but just because I wanted to see you.
And she's like, all right, but I made dinner, though.
He was so moved that they had sex. And dude, I was at a fucking McDonald's drive-thru like, oh my God. It was so good, dude.
Yeah. Yeah, I know, dude. I literally could not put this fucking book down.
I know, me neither. Driving home like, no, I wasn't. In Minecraft.
In Minecraft. Just kidding. In your imagination.
How did you feel about that moment when Richard finally texted her just to be like, any pictures that we have together, put them down?
Dude, I was thinking about that. How come she didn't already delete the pictures? What if Damien would have researched her a little bit? Was she not scared? I would have been terrified.
She didn't really think about it. Well, Damien had no social media. He's old.
He's an old man.
I know.
Pushing 70.
His phone is the one with the circle, like, it's the old one. It's like,
nobody who's listening to this knows what that is.
Damien.
There were house phones before.
Damien, what's your phone number? And he's like, 1. That's my phone number. That was the first one to get a phone.
00000.
No, it's just one. Babe.
Okay, just one. All right. She called me babe.
It's just wait.
What are we?
It'd be funny if he was like, "Oh yeah, if you need me, just beat me." It's like, what do you?
Just beat me.
Do you have AirPod? No, Bluetooth, babe. And it's like the square. This is my jitterbug. It's such old ass shit.
He's not that old. He's old, but not that old. That's so funny. Can you imagine? That'd be a whole different turn in the story.
Can I just say something a little controversial?
What?
Am I Damien in the way of his oldness? Because I was before the camera turned on. My back has been hurting because runs in my family. Whatever. I don't have to get into it.
Back problems are pretty common.
But the thing is, like, I've been doing a lot of stretches, so that it's been hurting less. And I was just showing off to Yajaira. I was like, "You want to see me bend down and grab this shit? Ooh, ooh."
That's some shit, Damien. Damien would do that. It's like doing the bend and snap.
Oh my God.
Very Elle Woods.
Just every single thing that can cracks down. Happy.
Oh yeah, when Cheli stood up, I was like, wow, no cracks. Love that for you. Couldn't be me.
So that was super romantic. The fact that they had that moment, but then they start talking about Thanksgiving and he's like, I'm not really spending it with anyone because I just stay in, have takeout. While she had just said, like, yeah, I spend it with basically a whole town of family members and friends. And so he says that, and in her mind, she's like, don't say it, bitch. Like,
yeah,
no.
she's trying to hold herself back, but then she's ends
like,
up asking him.
I know, and not as a relationship thing. I know we're not that serious, but you're invited to my Thanksgiving if you wanted to come. And he's like, yes.
He's like,
yes.
Turkey? Fuck me up.
You know what fucking got me? The part when she was like, oh yeah, but like, where are we gonna meet? Like, cause I'll take the subway and you can drive yourself.
That part.
Why the fuck? And she had even brought up like, oh yeah, and if you're gonna bring work, like I won't bother you when you work. And he was like, why the fuck would I work over the holidays and why wouldn't I go with you?
And why would you? You don't even bother me.
Yeah. Oh.
No, but then the way that he worded it was like, oh, we could just go at this time. And she's like, okay, so I'll meet you there. Like, see you there. He's like, no, girl, I'm going to take you. He was so sweet. I fucking love him. So how was the Thanksgiving dinner?
It was all right. Okay, next. I'm just kidding. Imagine. It was okay. Her family, her sister, first of all, as soon as she saw this new guy, I think her sister was down, completely down, because Richard in the past did not like the family at all.
Oh, except the sister's husband,
who is famous,
yeah,
apparently. And as soon as he knew that, he was like, Abby, don't talk to him like that. Why would he want to go do your poor people shit? Like, we want to do this type of shit. And this guy clearly hated him. And when Richard figured that out, he stopped going to Thanksgiving dinners.
Yeah.
Because it's like, why would I want to be friends? Or he doesn't want to be friends with me. And I don't like any of your family. So why would I go? But then as soon as Damien met them, he didn't make it a big deal. He was more into just being with Abby. And I thought that was really sweet.
That was so nice.
And they had their own little cabin too.
Very romantic.
And the fact that when they were saying what they were thankful for, he was thankful for her.
Bitch, don't get me
fuck me up.
I love moments like that though. Like when people like make like a speech and they're like, I'm really thankful for my one true love. My boyfriend did that yesterday at his birthday party.
Aww.
He did that. He did a speech and he was like saying how last year during this time he was like reminiscing. Well, not reminiscing. He was thinking of like what he wanted, which was love.
Yeah.
And he was like, and honestly, like there is no one else that I could have pictured.
Sweet.
I know. It's like, don't do this to me.
It's funny. Everyone's having a serious moment, and you're like, "Shut the fuck up!"
And then he sang me a song.
Oh, I love that he loves to sing.
Dude, he loves karaoke. Oh my god, him and his mom.
God, that's hilarious.
I gotta show you a video.
Okay, I'm down.
But anyway,
but
so yeah, it was cute.
After all this, they finally talk, and he's like, "Oh, would you like to go to the Christmas? My Christmas party."
Oh yeah, but you know what's interesting? He had already kind of mentioned it on their first date. Isn't that funny though? Because he didn't know that she wanted to go, but they passed by the building and he was like, "Oh yeah, up there. That's the Rainbow Room. Maybe I can take you there one day."
But she's like, "Oh, what's a Rainbow Room? I didn't know that it was up there on 17th
Rainbow?
Street.
Why is it called
That's so fucking crazy." No, yeah, I don't follow their Instagram or anything.
Deletes them.
He's like, "What the fuck is that?" He's like, "Never seen a phone."
He's not that old.
Oh my gosh. But he's like, "Yeah, I really want you to go." And he was like, "Well,"
but this is now in like present. So that was what I mentioned was like the first date, but he kind of like just brushed it off. But now after Thanksgiving.
But now she's trying to kind of talk herself out of going.
Yeah.
So she's like, What do you think others would think though if you came
with me?
Me.
With this.
Yeah. With all of this.
I'm just too much for all the lawyers.
But it's because, she dresses in all pink, like stilettos. And he's like
a pinup doll.
And he says, "Drop this perfect shit. You're real and I'm real. We're real. These assholes, they don't fucking matter." And then she keeps wanting to say, like, "I need to talk to you. I need to," and he
doesn't
keeps
let
not
her.
wanting to talk.
He doesn't let her. I was getting so stressed over this because I was like, "You're gonna regret this. You're gonna be like, you never told me that you dated Richard."
I think it's cute when they're about to go to the party. She's wearing like a a black dress.
She's wearing a black. She's like looking very like stereotypical for this setting, and he's like, "No, that's what you're wearing."
But she wears a champagne pink instead. I want to mention before, I was so down for this couple pretty early on into the story. And I think the part that really sold me was the fact that Damien was working a domestic abuse case. And
he was.
The lady who was trying to get her kids custody had a lot of bruises. And had to face her ex in court. So he called Abby and was like, "Can you do her makeup? I like bought her an outfit and everything. And Abby does her makeup, and Damien says, like, you see the life you just changed, like the fact that you were able to do this. And even the lady who was talking to her was like, you guys just started dating? Because he talks about you like you were the best thing in his world.
It's so fucking cute. I love
really
how
cute.
much he like values her and like values her job and like what she does for other people.
I love it too.
I love him so much.
But Rainbow Room, the party is starting. She goes,
and it's popping.
It's popping, and she goes in and immediately spots Richard like a fucking pest that he is.
Like, what is he doing here? And also, he's balding.
Gross. Anyone who's balding, imagine.
Okay, relax. Half of this podcast doesn't agree with that statement, but anyway, and I love it because even his outfit isn't fitting right, and she's just like, hell yeah. She feels very satisfied over this, right? But at the same time, I don't think it's really like hitting her.
And it didn't hit. To me, it felt like, was it really worth it?
Yeah.
You saw him in this. Okay.
I think she's more concerned with Damien and I don't know, like I guess keeping this that's going on with Damien.
So Damien and her are walking around, and Richard comes up and says that he knows Abby. And it was like, oh, you do? It's like, yeah, we dated for 4 years, you know? And then,
but doesn't he like insult her?
Not yet, because he says that, and then he starts saying like, you still work your stupid makeup job. I mean, look at her. And at this point, Damien's not saying anything. So to me, I was like, shit, like he's simmering over here, and I didn't know how he was going to react. But then they try to walk away, and Richard says, you can have her, man. Sloppy seconds. And with his words, something changes in the air. A sharp coldness creeps in. Fog on the floorboards. That only I can see, it seems. Excuse me, Damien asks, turning towards my ex, his current employee. His shoulders are tight and firm. Angry. I said, you can have my sloppy seconds, boss man. Just know she's a real bore in the sack. Trainable, but boring. But I bet, and then he says, bitch. And then Richard says, but I bet you already know that. And then Damien fucking winds it up. Everyone, this range is going to hit anyone in a half-mile radius. You need to leave. Abby, move. He's like, I can't help you. I can't stop her. She's in motion. Fucking the oldest lawyer walks in. Henry, I need to get out of here.
The force of this is going to knock you all out.
News, hello. Fucking NY News. 30 people dead. Herdman was caught swinging. Caught in the range of the attack. Did he fucking...
God. Yeah, he hits. Oh, he punches Richard, which is honestly the best part of this book.
Oh, dude, it was so good. But Damien leaves.
Yeah.
He walks out. And she... wants to go after him, but then Richard grabs onto Abby's arm, and Abby just fucking goes for it. You remember what she says?
I don't remember exactly what she says. I just remember that he was hella insulting her.
Let go of me, Richard. Richard, let go. And then he just goes, you were always nothing more than a whore. And he's still holding really, really tight. And she's like, why the fuck am I making myself smaller for him? Good. I can't believe you thought you could win against me. Pushes her. Wait, hold on. I wanted to read that line. You're trash, Abby. Always were. You were supposed to be a piece I hit when it was convenient. But then you became useful, taking care of my shit, making life easier for me. I kept you around. Why hire an assistant when I can just fuck a woman and convince her that I'll make her my wife if she does all this shit for me?
Bitch.
But then you lost your usefulness, Abby. Lost it when you started expecting things. So I lost you. And then she slaps him and says, you're a fucked up person. You treat me like property, like you owe something, but no one owes you shit. And then Richard's grandpa.
His grandfather is high up as well
on
as
top of the company.
So it's the grandfather and Damien, yeah. And they thought that at this party, Richard thought that at this party he would be made partner But nobody likes him, so I don't know why he thought that.
Yeah.
The delusion?
He gets fired.
Mm-hmm. Good.
So then Abby runs out and finds Damien walking across the street. And she's like, I'm so sorry. Like, this wasn't meant to happen, but also it kind of was meant to happen. I had planned it, but I didn't know you were going to be so great. And like, I lied to you twice.
Yeah.
And then he's like, twice. He's like, yeah, I fucking hate whiskey, bitch. And it's sweet because she's like, he's smiling. Like, you know, he's hearing her and it's like, and I shouldn't have lied to you about this. Like, I shouldn't have. And then he looks at her and is like, did you run out here with a coat or without a coat? And she was like, yeah, I did. Where's your coat? You know, and he says, well, I would have offered you one, but you know, I was going back. I just needed air. Mm-hmm. And they kiss. And oh my gosh, he says something. He says, baby, you were never leaving without me tonight. I needed air. I went for a walk. I was headed back when you found me. Mm-hmm. And he says, I told you I'm falling and I'm taking you with me. And she answers, you don't have to drag me anywhere, Damien. I'm already there. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
I
so much. That's Mariah's gonna
I know.
end us.
In Minecraft. But
yeah, exactly.
But
only place.
Basically the end.
Basically the end, yes. So, Cheli, how did you feel? Did you feel like this was satisfactory for that Christmas romance itch?
Spice-wise? Yes.
Spice.
Damien, so fucking good.
I love him.
I love him. The way it was written, amazing. Mm-hmm. What didn't hit for me was the fact that the biggest reason that she continued this whole revenge was because of her fucking friend Cammy.
Oh, I know. Cammy was...
And even the fact that one of the biggest things was her going like, no, I like Damien. Mm-hmm. Like the fact that she had to prove it to her friend who you think would care more about the fact that she's happy and in love, but...
Well, there was a moment where she was like telling Cammy like, you know what, I'm not going to do this anymore. But I think that was when Richard messaged her and was like, hey, can you delete everything on Facebook? Because he didn't want any traces of them on her accounts. And that's when she was reminded of like how he treated her and, you know, just the whole relationship. And she was like, you know what, I got to stay focused.
But this story ends with 3 years later, how they're just perfection. They're together. And he pulls out a blue box with a white ribbon. Is it a fucking ring? I don't remember.
Well, aren't they going to the Christmas party?
Yeah.
In the rainbow room. And he gives her a necklace before the party. And then at the party, he gives a speech and he's like, Abby, baby, come up here. And he's like, Abby, you are the best thing that's ever happened to me. Love you, bitch. Always. And then he gets down on his knee and he's just like, whoosh, pulls out a ring and she's like crying like, who knew?
Yeah, you're right.
I would be getting proposed to in the rainbow room. Not me, girl. Mm-hmm. And she says yes. And they live happily ever after.
And her friends are there. Like he invited everyone who's important to her there. And then at the end he says, I lied. And she's all super like traumada. Like, is there another revenge? Like, what's happening? Is Richard gonna pop out of the fucking closet? And it's like, no, I lied because your dress looks better when it's off, bitch. The end.
Oh yeah, because he complimented her dress.
Oh my god, I hated it. I hated that. That like gave me the ick.
Really?
Ooh.
That was cute.
Hello, who's this? Whoever edits this video, put it really big.
I just slowly zoom in.
Slowly zoom into this man's face. Dude. Really is a distraction.
Okay.
Love that. Don't touch me. It makes me question things. Dude, I can't. Oh my gosh. So, how did you feel?
I fucking love this story. As soon as I started it, I remember I started it at night. I could not put it down. I think I finished it that night.
I love that for you. I finished it basically in a day too. When it started to pick up, I wasn't letting it go.
I felt like this book was a very easy read, and I really, I don't know, like I felt like I was there. Like I really pictured everything.
I love that for you. I love that for you, and I love this for us. I think this is such a good holiday pick. And if I had to rate this, I can't see this being on my top 5 for the year, but it is I'm going to say a 4.75.
Oh my God. I would say, high 4 as well.
Yeah. I really liked it.
It's so good. I would definitely recommend it. It's very fun. Spice. It's a 10 out of 10.
Oh, love that. Love that shit. Okay. For everyone who is listening, thank you so much. If you are listening to us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, or anywhere you get your podcasts on, thank you so much. If you can please leave a rating of 5 stars. Like, you can literally do it while I'm talking. Like, you have probably already done it. If you haven't, I'm giving you a second chance. You can do it right now. That helps so much.
Yeah, and it definitely boosts us up a lot more. So we really, really appreciate it if you take the time to do that.
And if you want to leave a review too, we're basically set for the rest of this year, but we do need recommendations for our January reads. So if you could please do that, that would be great.
We do have a couple already.
Yeah, we do. Oh my God, I love that. If you have a little bit of money and want to help us monetarily, what can they do?
So we do have a Patreon, and at the moment there's not a whole lot on it, but it just serves as a way for our listeners to let us know that you enjoy our content. You can find us on patreon.com/bookfix, but we also have Ko-fi. It's ko-fi.com/thebookfix. And we also have buymeacoffee.com/thebookfix. And those ones are really just in case you don't want the commitment of monthly.
If you are watching us on YouTube, thank you. If you can like, comment, subscribe, and hit that notification bell because we post every Tuesday and Thursday. Thank you.
Thank you. So now, let's read a positive and a negative review of 'Tis the Season.
What do you want to read?
Revenge. I'll find a positive one.
Yeah, I'll find a negative. I haven't put it on my Goodreads yet.
Oh my God, who are you?
I know. I need to put it on right now before I forget. I am not reading the second book. I did not care enough for the friend to read the second book.
I think I might read it.
You think so?
Maybe.
I'm proud of you.
Thank you. What if it's better?
Oh, it can't be. It can't. Nothing can beat this. Okay, 1. I'm only going to read the first line to this one. But this is a review written by Hannah on Goodreads, who gave it a 1 out of 5, who just wrote, "My body rejected this book like that scene from Alien."
Oh my God. Okay, so this one comes from Tori. They gave it 5 out of 5, and they said, "I absolutely loved this Christmas romance. I love a good revenge plot, but with an age gap, and the female character loves the color pink. Yes, please." Thank you so much, and we'll see you next time. Bye.
I feel like this next one's going to be long.
I know. I'm already tired.
Me too.
What if we just sit here and stare at each other?
What if we do a nap version and we just nap for an hour?
What if we
Ready?
We just play the audiobook.
I know.